Hello, and welcome to something completely different. Today, I will be detailing the worst gaming experience I've ever had. Filled with comets, rebellions, and global warming in a time period where most people couldn't read. The game? Civilization 6, a game that totally hasn't been abused by its player base due to some questionable choices in design, and today, I will be turning on all of the questionable design choices in an attempt to make myself suffer for your entertainment. And oh boy, was it awful. We start with the advanced setup screen, and immediately put on all the options on the worst settings I can possibly think of. A tiny primordial map with sparse resources, no tribal villages, and a high sea level. I chose primordial because I wanted a lot of volcanoes so that it can make my life worse. I added an extra 2 civs to the game and put 4 of them on the most aggressive civs I could possibly think of, as well as Hammurabi to make barbarians even worse than they already are. I put myself on random because I knew I would probably have to restart at some point, with the idea that I could hopefully re-roll and get a good civ and good start. Fuck off! No way! That didn't happen. And now we come to the really spicy part, the game modes. If you don't know what each game mode does, I'll quickly run through them all. Apocalypse mode. Disasters happen more often and hurt more. Adds 2 new disasters that break things to various degrees. Barbarian clans. Barbarians are more annoying as they spawn unique units now. They can form city-states if not killed on sight. Dramatic Ages. Complete the circle around the end turn button. If not, lose your entire empire. Heroes and Legends. Smite Battleground of the Gods, but with even worse balancing. Monopolies and Corporations. Use Worker on Luxury to get big numbers. Use Great Merchant to get even bigger number on Luxury when you get Economics. Secret Societies. Install Society in your society to make the Joker kill himself and give yourself dumb buffs to make the game way too easy. Tech and Civic Shuffle mode. Game mixes up Tech and Civic tree. You cannot see any techs apart from the ones that are next. Completely ruins the game. Fucking finally, that's where it is! Zombie Defense. Random barbarians spawn in your empire. They're annoying and nothing more than that. And now on to speed and difficulty. The worst settings in the game. Now, any normal player will play the game on standard or quicker. However, for some reason the devs thought that repeatedly pressing the end turn button and making everything take 3 times longer than it should makes for fun and engaging gameplay. And made Marathon Game Speed. When it comes to difficulty, things are a bit different. Oh, fuck off! Instead of coding better AI at higher difficulties, the Civ devs decided that coding an AI equivalent to the player's intellect is hard, and instead gave the AI extremely stupid buffs that give him a head start that means nothing past turn 150, maybe 100, depending on Civ, start, and skill. Yeah, in terms of skill, I'm rather lacking. So I will make a single concession in my 100% pain run and turn the difficulty to Emperor instead of Deity, because I'm not good enough to get past the extremely stupid buff the AI gets at the beginning. And Marathon Game Speed is already painful enough. Now with all that finally out of the way, I can actually start the gameplay section. And the first civ we get is Scythia. Not a bad civ by any measure. It's just been power crapped out of relevancy due to the angriest Greek known to mankind. But Scythia is still a domination civ, and I do eventually plan to nuke this curse game back into the ancient era. I have a decent spawn, with an okay amount of room to expand. Hopefully there's enough resource to do what I want to do, and I just found Rome. Right. At least he doesn't, he's just announced me. Well, maybe I can fight him off, and oh, fucking hell, his army's huge. Fuck! Next game, Shaka Zulu. Another good domination civ. That's a great start, but I can work around this with some good districting and planning. All I need is to be on my own and have some time to build up and... where the fuck? And he forward settled me. Fantastic. Truth be told, I did fuck this one up on 2 occasions. The first was not blocking the settler of my warrior, and the second was that I decided to declare war on Simon because I knew this game was fucked anyway. Hopefully, 3rd time's the charm. The next Civ, Arabia, led by the most based Kurd in history. A B tier Civ in a game where most of the playable Civs are in A tier or above. However, it's not all that bad. The start was alright. It has a good spot for a campus, a luxury, and a fantastic defensive position for anyone trying to attack me from the west. The big issue is that there's little space for the city to grow, and it's in jungle, which is just like woods, but significantly worse and only good for getting chopped down. Nevertheless, all of these small problems were overshadowed by the biggest upside to this start. I am miles away from the closest Civ, and I wouldn't have to deal with anyone attacking me for this game. After settling my second city, I immediately lost it due to a dark age in the classical era. It wasn't a massive problem to take it back. What was a massive problem was this. This fucking quadri caused me so many problems in the early game that it almost caused me to give up. I was forced to enter its range due to a barbarian camp spawning on a small sliver of land, and any unit that walked into its range would get shredded. The situation got even worse when the camp started spawning fucking towers. These fuckers are a unique unit replacement for a unit that I didn't even have unlocked yet. And not only does it have more combat strength than a swordsman, but it reduces the combat strength of all the units that are next to it. Mercifully, this was the only problem that I ran into in the early game, and after settling my third city, which was shit, I entered the medieval era and stole a city off of Rome because they fell into a dark age. I then noticed something was wrong. One of my tiles had flooded, and when I looked at the climate change screen, I saw this. That's not. I only found out about this after the game, but apparently throwing units into volcanoes was giving off carbon emissions, and the AI was doing it so much that it advanced climate change by 2 levels. This was already causing me problems, as the rising sea levels flooded an aqueduct that I was using for 2 industrial zones, and I knew it was only going to get worse from here on out. Instead of trying to plan for the future, because I can't, I decided to do a little bit of trolling by using Anansi. Everyone say hi to Anansi. Do it! He's a West African trickster god who usually takes the form of a spider, and he is canonically the first Spider-Man. No, I'm not joking. He has the ability to remove any resource off of the map and has 5 charges of this ability. The resource eating was the only interesting thing to happen in a while, as the game had become quite boring at this point. There wasn't much to do, and nearing the 500 turn mark, the boredom had gotten to a point where I began doing what any understimulated person with my mental disposition would do. Make noises. I'm in your balls. The boredom was expected. What I didn't expect was when a bunch of zombies converged on Aleppo and fucking razed it to it. After the Aleppo zombie incident was dealt with, it was time to expand. My measly 4 cities were not enough to cut it, as playing wide in this game is far better than playing tall. I settled Medina to gain a clean source of fuel for my eco-friendly coal power plants, whilst the rest of my expansion was being done through staying in a golden age and scooping up all the cities that rebelled due to dark ages. I was not immune to rebellions either, but before I can get to that problem, I need to explain why the screen is now red. At the time, I had absolutely no clue what was happening and what the change in colour meant. Why has it gone red? What it meant was that the Earth had now reached a max climate change level, and now 2 things were going to happen. The Sun was going to turn into a Luddite and break all the important shit in my empire, and comets were now magnetically attracted to the Earth and will completely delete everything they land on. Which includes cities. This was a game essentially telling me to hurry the fuck up, and I was happy to oblige due to my patience wearing thin and my mood getting to a point which could be described as slightly pissy. Fuck's sake, this video does see the light of day, and people are just gonna say, oh, but I've been marathon. It's a marathon, it's not. No, you don't. Shut up. No one plays marathon. My mood wouldn't be improved when my source of clean energy got fucking nuked by a comet. And to make my life worse, a dark age happened. Luckily, only 2 cities revolted. The problem was that one of them was next to where I wanted to settle a city, specifically for mining uranium, because at this point, I still wanted to nuke this game back to the ancient era. Once the city had been recaptured, I can finally settle my uranium mining colony. But as it turns out, I didn't need it. A quick look at the victory screen showed me that I was extremely close to winning diplomatically. Yes, a diplomatic victory. The one that no one does because it's basically just culture, but with none of the fun stuff in it. I had a decent amount of diplomatic favour built up. All I needed was to wait until the next World Congress and hope to God that I had enough favour to end the game on that turn.
Start praying, boy.
All I needed to do was dump all of my favour into the victory point vote and pray that the AI do not outvote me. Please, 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 get me out. Get me out. Fuck! I'm not going to waste your time any longer. In the 60 turns between the World Congress votes, I lost another city due to interstellar trolling, unlocked the ability to ride the horse, and complained about marathon game speed. Why is it 60 turns? Why is this game so slow? Why am I doing this to myself? After that, I got to the next World Congress. This time there were 4 agendas to vote on, meaning if I voted correctly, losing 2 victory points meant nothing as I would gain 3 by winning the other votes, as the AI would dump all their points into the victory point vote. I idiotically still dumped 1000 favour into the victory point vote and put the rest on whatever I could. And this time... Please, and... Yes! Ah!
From your
I'm out.
earliest desire to
It was
live in
actually
peace.
over. Oh, fucking hell, never again, that was awful. Thank you for watching, the next video will be on Hades, so look forward to that in the future. So until then, goodbye.